Welcome back to the Los Alamitos Weekend Preview here. I'm your host, Jose Contreras, joined by the voice of Los Alamitos, Mike Wrona. Michael, how was your weekend? I hope you stayed dry here during this wet and rainy week.
Yeah, I've been laying low, Jose. Not a lot going on this week, which is just fine by me because it was a very busy finish to 2022, and I'd always earmarked January as pretty much enjoying being a homebody. Suits me fine.
And we're going to talk about this weekend at Los Al because it was an eventful as far as the wagering goes, Michael, because nobody hit the pick six in consecutive nights. That means we have over $56,000 in the pool waiting for the horse players, the traditional $2 pick six, and that pool could total into the $250,000 based on past history. So no guarantees, but based on past history, we could be looking at $250,000 in that pick six for this Saturday. But let's take a look here at actually we'll look at the pick six sequence. I know you have a key selection. We'll look at race number 6, but let's build our way into that race number 6. We'll start with race number 4, which is the start of the pick six on Saturday night. And we talked about that juicy carryover. Here are the PPs for that race number 6. 300 yards, quarter horses allowance. We got a field of 8 runners. Actually, I'm skipping ahead. I'll go back. Race 4. I was kind of getting ahead of myself. I was excited to talk about your pick in that key race. Let's go to race number 4, where the pick six will begin. $2 traditional pick six. These are thoroughbreds, claimers going for a tag of $5,000. And a quick glance here at the field. A field of 6. Ed Berger's morning line kind of has us kind of thinking in between, Michael, that there's not going to be a clear-cut favorite.
No, this is a very open race, as you can see from the morning line. It's a tough start to the pick six sequence. Really, the only horse you could rule out is Count Tolstoy, who just seemingly has lost all form. He has not been competitive for some time. But the other 5, very little separation in the odds, and it's just a matter of how big your bankroll is and whether you want to try to trim. I thought that maybe I would try to risk the rail horse, Jose, because Whoa Buddy, although his last effort during the daytime thoroughbred meet was very good, he had a terrible trip and did well to finish as close as he did in a midfield position. However, he's got gate 1 on the nighttime layout, and he brings a 5 for 63 win rate lifetime into this race. So I just wonder whether the rail is the spot to be taking a risk and maybe trying to leave out Wild Buddy. I think I'd try to beat him. I really feel like I need to use Bob Sniper and Stay Golden, numbers 2 and 3, as well as the 6 Rough Ride. The other one I might risk is Rosart, number 5. Very consistent, but gee, it's a long time between drinks. He was 0 for 13 last season with 9 minor placings. He's on the claim back by Salvador Naranjo, and he figures he'll be thereabouts. He always is, but I just thought that I might look at the win rate for Rosart in the last 12 months, as well as overall for the rail horse, and perhaps risk them. So in trying to narrow down a very open, difficult race, I think that 2, 3, and 6 are the ones that I feel the strongest about.
And I'm kind of, when I look at Rosette, I remember him always being a horse that likes to be in the mix of things. I think he can affect the pace. I don't think he could be a threat for the win here, even if he runs to his top race up to this point. Now, I'm reading in between the lines. I do like that Salvador Naranjo is on the claim back for the 5, but also Salvador Naranjo trains the 3, Stay Golden. And is it the same owner? It is the same owner.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm kind of reading in between the lines that maybe the 5 is entered to make sure the race went and filled up, and maybe to make sure that the 3 is in this type of race. So that's kind of drawing my eye towards Stay Golden. But I had to make a top pick. it'll probably be rough ride, top connections, drawn towards the outside.
Yep, very tough.
We know they're gonna try to hustle and be out there. And also, I kind of like that Jesus Urenga is not quitting on that claiming price. They claim for 2,500. They're still keeping this one pretty much above that 5 claiming price. So it's not like he's throwing in the towel and kind of dropping this one to the bottom. He's still somewhat confident in this horse's ability. So if I had to make a top pick, I think Rough Ride on the outside to me would be the selection. But this is a very interesting way to kick off the pick six.
Yes, very tricky. So do what you can to stay afloat heading into race 5, the second leg, which is no picnic either.
No, we're going 1,000 yards here in this race number 5. Good allowance spot. We got a couple of daytime runners and a few of them coming back to the nighttime. Oil Kind Night, Rally Cat, Win Happy, Divinely Diverse, Superman Shack, and Werther here in this field of 6. Who are you kind of leaning to in this race?
Well, I'm looking at a lot of speed. The 3, 4, 5, 6 can all fire early. I think it's going to be a race of some considerable pace pressure. So the outside post should suit McWhirter. Now, this is a horse that I actually delighted in betting against. He was short priced many times and kept losing, and I kept picking against him. He's not one of my horses. However, he did get the job done last time from the outside post position, beating Fort Bridger, who came out to win last weekend. And he really does look pretty well suited in this spot again from gate number 6. So as much as I've been anti-McWhirter across a lot of the horse's career, it wouldn't surprise me if he did go back to back. Superman Shack, though, keep in mind, beat him comfortably back in October. So I think the 5 is very logical also. I don't know that you can use one without the other. Again, this to me is not a race for singles in the pick 6. And the rail horse, Oil Can Night, Jose, I think fits very well. Comes off a couple of daytime performances that were decent during the thoroughbred meet in December. Not much experience on the nighttime layout, was pretty much wiped out at the start of a race in October under the lights and recovered fairly. I think the race could set up well for him because he can sit off the speed, a hot speed, and get involved for Milton Pineda, who just seems to be taking all before him. So I think Oil Can Night's a horse I need to use also. 1, 5, and 6 would be straight wins, but you'd be holding your breath in the last 100 yards. He gets a bit wobbly, doesn't he, in those closing strides? And I just don't know whether he can make it 3 wins in a row against all this other good hot speed drawn outside of him. So I'm content to risk Win Happy. He's the one I would take on and try to beat.
Yeah, when I looked at the outside 2 runners, McWhirter is probably going to have a similar kind of trip where he's already placed. And you got to give him credit that 2 out of the last 3 starts, he's been sub 53 seconds going 1,000 yards, which is a very good mark. But he also sees Superman Shack beat him when they met 3 starts ago. And Superman Shack is probably thinking, you know what? I get away from Dutton, the current track record holder.
Yeah.
And 2 starts ago, I get away from the previous track record holder, which was See Through It. So in the last 2 starts, Superman Shack has run into track record type of runners. Can he turn it back and run as well as he did on October 33rd? I think that's the question we gotta ask ourselves as handicappers. But I'm kind of leaning towards the outside part of the track here with the 5 and the 6. It's tough to kind of separate them, but I think I would give a little bit more edge to Superman Shack. But I don't think you're going to get much separation as far as how they will play in the pick 6. I think both of them are going to be played very heavily by the backers.
Yeah, so the first 2 legs of the pick 6 are around the turn. And they're tough races. I think that the deeper you get into the card, the more opportunity there is for potential singles with some standout favourites in the quarter horse races. But for me, in the first 2 legs of the pick 6, I'd be using 3 in the first leg and 3 in the second leg.
Race number 6, the start of the late pick 4, the 3rd leg of that pick 6 carryovers. We get into the quarter horse part of the program. 300-yard allowance. These are for the fillies, 3-year-olds, which have never won Two races, Dasher's Dynasty, Matilda the Eagle, Mornings with Maria, Executive Eagle MRL, Lady Dusty, Sweet Fire Girl, Just Sassy Corona, and Butter Off Your Friends. A good field of 8. Obviously, the class is there of Mornings with Maria. But Michael, can you try to beat Mornings with Maria in this field?
I don't really want to try to beat Mornings with Maria. I'm a big fan, always have been, of Mornings with Maria, who qualified to 3 futurities in her 2-year-old season. She's terrific, and I think she'll win. I think she's absolutely strictly the horse to beat. However, as a knockout horse potentially in this pick 6 sequence at good odds, consider number 4, Executive Eagle MRL. Okay. Who was good at Los Alamitos in the horse's first 2 career starts back in the summer, then went out of state to Lone Star and Evangeline, where nothing much happened for her in a pair of Futuri trials. She's back in California now, and she might have a sneaky chance. I think 8-1 is enticing enough for me to maybe throw her in. This is the debut win I think we've got here for us on the 24th of July from the outside post.
Yeah, and I think this is interesting because not only was this her debut, because she had worked fairly well, 12-10 before this. And I think one common factor that we can kind of maybe, compare is that she's off of a freshening, and she kind of proved that she can run well fresh in this debut win. What do you think?
Yeah, she had a perfect trip. Everything went right for her on this occasion down the extreme outside. She beat line 6. Look how far ahead of the rest they were. And the time was pretty good. I mean, for a debut win, 9.81 closing split, a 15.70 overall time for 300 yards is really quite credible. Then the horse was odds on at start number 2 and was beaten. However, I gave her a pass on that occasion because she was going from the outside post to the rail. A horse who won that start in August was going from the rail to the outside post. That was Kiss Me Flying. So Executive Eagle was not disgraced, even though it would have been hard to stomach if you took the odds on. But she did come in at the start. She didn't handle the rail draw very well at all. And she was okay on the gallop out. So I gave her a pass and thought, she's still a filly of some promise and ability. Let's see her going forward. But then she disappeared from California. What's interesting, Jose, is she comes back to the Golden State for a different trainer. She was with Jose Flores early. Now she's back with Jaime Gomez and gets Oscar Peinado up. But I just think 8-1 is a little bit of a carrot being dangled for me to think that, if anything goes wrong with Mornings with Maria, this could be a knockout type of a horse. But for those who think enough of Mornings with Maria to want to single her in the pick 6, I wouldn't say that that's a bad strategy because she's probably a class above these horses. I think she deserves to win. I think she probably will. But 8-1, that's my long shot play for the night, Executive Eagle MRL.
I like that. And you're drawn immediately on the outside of the big favorite. So if you can outbreak the favorite and get a little bit of a jump, you could have an advantage to be able to maybe sneak away and take a little bit of a path there and make it interesting. But Executive Eagle MRL, I find it interesting that she's back in a different barn. But look, she ran well fresh. Obviously, she's joining another good barn. And that's one of the things that could be a separator in the pick 6 if Mornings with Maria makes any kind of mistake. Mornings with Maria was ultra consistent, I think, throughout the season.
Yes.
We can both agree. And Adrian Loza has been fitting her very well in the last 2, obviously in that maiden diploma and also in that PCQHRA Breeders' Futurity. But that's a good way to kick off the late pick 4 if you can find a way to beat Mornings with Maria. And if not, you can't beat her, then maybe she might be that pick 6 single to be able to get away with a single and kind of map out the rest of the ticket. So a good way to start the late pick 4 and also part of that pick 6 sequence. So I like the long shot look you gave there with Executive Eagle MRL. Michael, thank you for joining me. Have you looked ahead into the weather forecast off the top of your head? I haven't looked. I don't know.
As a matter of fact, I have not. We record on a Thursday afternoon, and I have not looked into the weekend,
Yeah,
but
that's
fingers crossed that everything improves.
Yes, it was a wet weekend last weekend, but we still had. I want to give a special shout out to all the horse players that supported the Los Alamitos Signal last week.
For sure.
It was a good business despite being a holiday weekend, being a wet weekend, a cold weekend. But the horse players, the loyal fans of Los Alamitos, came to play last weekend, and obviously a lot of them are going to return because they say, you know what, I left my money in the pick six pool. I want it back. I want another shot. Just like I did. I supported as well. I was out in the first leg, as a matter of fact, Michael. I donated to the Pick Six, so I'm going to get involved once again. Good to see you. Good to hear you. And Michael, best of luck this weekend. And thank you again for that selection. I'll be looking forward to your calls this week at Los Al.
Thank you, Jose. And I'm sure all of the Fan Deal TV viewers will be looking forward to seeing you back on the set at the track this weekend.
I will. I'm back off the bullpen, back on the set. I'll be there this weekend. So I'll see you this weekend at Los Al.
Good on you, mate. Hooroo.
The best of quarter horse racing continues at Los Alamitos Racecourse every Saturday and Sunday night. Buckle up for another top racing weekend at Los Alamitos. On Saturday, the Pick Six will feature a carryover of more than $56,000. And with the new money to be wagered on Saturday, it'll be an enticing pool in Saturday's Pick Six. And remember, Los Alamitos offers a traditional Pick Six. It's a huge Saturday night of action with a Pick Six carryover of more than $56,000. The best of racing, the best of quarter horse racing, always at Los Alamitos. The Los Alamitos Pick Fours are known as night racing's best bets, with huge pools, a $1 minimum, and big payouts. It gives horse players more bang for the buck. Our racing programs begin shortly after the major daytime thoroughbred racing action, and the Los Alamitos Early Pick Four always starts with our first race on the card. Big pools, great fun. It's the Los Alamitos Pick Four.
Golden Boy gathering them in. Photo. Golden Boy gets up to score.
Night racing's best bets, always at Los Alamitos.
Now joined by your Los Alamitos simulcast there, analysts on track each and every night from the paddock or from Borgard's or from anywhere they can find a camera. Chris will be there giving out his analysis and giving out winners. Chris, how about that? Nobody hit the Pick Six on consecutive nights. Over 56,000 left in the pool there for this upcoming Saturday.
Yeah, and it was a difficult card there on Sunday, as noted the previous night, with some long shots at 50-1 along the way. Created monster pick fours. Like I say in my best bet and prize play, with any kind of price on Los Alamitos, you get a gigantic return. It's the best investment anywhere in the country because Jim and Chris, they paid $5,000 and $6,000 with one long shot.
Yeah, and was it Jose Flores, if I remember correctly?
Yep, sure was.
Jose Flores off to a hot start. He took down the leading trainer for the first time in his career after being a top 3 trainer for many years. He finally clinched that division, that title in 2022, and he's off to a hot start here in 2023, not only with prices but also winning stakes events as well. Before we dive into the second half of this Pick Six, what do you think about Danger, the runner-up in the Grade 1 Champion of Champions? It took his form down to Sunland, Chris, and boy, did he look impressive taking down the championship over there.
Yeah, he broke on the lead. He was up against a great field, one of the best fields they've ever assembled. Much like our champion of champions here recently, the race the Danger ran very good second versus Impressum up on the outside, the 10 horse. But this horse broke very strongly and just said race over, good night. Very impressive performance and a very solid figure. And great job, per usual, for training for Dean Frey.
Yeah, he carried his form there. By the way, your picks have been so hot, they're calling you. Tell them to wait. Tell them to wait because your picks have been so hot. They can wait. But yeah, he was instigator. It was flashback, and it was KJ Desperano, the top 3 names that Danger defeated in the Grade 1 Championship at Sunland. So congrats to the connections there of Danger taking down the last Grade 1 event of the year, the calendar year, at Sunland Park this past week here. But let's take a look at the second half of the Pick Six here at Los Al. Races 7, 8, and 9. We already talked with Michael Wrona. He gave us analysis there for races 4, 5, and 6. Let's start off with race number 7. How about this? How about they're going to throw a wrench into us, Chris, with a 110-yarder. Maiden event, 110 yards. Quickly, let me look through the field. There's Tainted Love, A Polished Flight, Sakatuya, Attacker, Enemy Status Fire, and Fire Stale. Not only is it a tricky distance, Chris, but also none of these runners have experience going 110.
No, none of them have the experience of the 110-yard race, and this is a tough ticket way to start that late pick 3. But I'm going to go with the numbers. Horses shortening up of for 1 Almond Apollo Fly. This horse has got some quality numbers on my figures. Everything factored in, a little bit trouble prone, however, but it was very, very close the last few races. But with everything factored in, he figures slightly best in that 7th event. So he'd be my top choice. I'm going to give Attacker a look there for Valentine's and Moody as our second number. And then, of course, the 1 Tainted Love, drawn nicely inside, is sharp, has a look down the inside. So I'm going to go 2, 4, and 1 there in race number 7.
It looks that kind of race where, the inside is going to dominate the betting. The inside 4 post. The 1 Tainted Love, even though this one has not been able to get the job done, she's been fairly consistent. She missed by a head, she missed by a neck. She also ran well from the rail, so she's going to take money from that inside post. But I do think I like the race that both April Little Flight and Sakatuya come out of. Even though April Little Flight finished ahead of Sakatuya showed the ability to break. So I think that horse might deserve a little bit of a look there at 6-1. Oscar Pinado got to know this one the last time out. He had ridden this one before. So I think 6-1 is an enticing price, but I'm with you here. April Little Flight should be tough, and even Tainted Love, who has broken on top in 3 out of the last 4 starts, should take plenty of play. Where do you rank Attacker? I know he's been facing futurity trials. I'm worried that he's not the most consistent gate horse. I think that's the main knock on him, right?
Yeah, it's his main knock. His horse has ability. He's my second choice in there for Valentine. Yeah. This horse in that last race got fractious in the gate as per usual and bobbled badly away from the barrier, but showed some nice run late under a hold. And with everything factored in, trouble track variant, he figures second best on my numbers. And it's kind of like I've said this before, horses that have trouble going 300, 330, for some reason, when they go 110 yards, they just wake up and they break a lot better than they do going a farther distance. But we'll see if that trend continues here with Apollo Flight and Attackers, our top 2 numbers in that 7th event.
A tricky puzzle to start the late pick 3 here in race number 7, 110 yards. Get ready there. Don't blink or you might miss it. Let's go to race number 8, the start of the late double. Quarter horses going a distance of 300 yards. Job opening, 3J's Fortune, Nomad-Tude, Chester Carlson, Fire Pit, and One Sweet Bar round out the field. One Sweet Bar is even money. Will be tough to beat, but I know that you like the looks of the 5 horse here, Fire Pit.
Yeah, Fire Pit's my top choice, and my Chris pick price play on the night. This horse is got more ability than shown, has been trouble prone in each subsequent start. The ability is there, just a matter of getting out of the gate. Last time, broke a little slow after getting fractious, bobbled, and was bumped both sides. It's kind of slow in the stride, but finished well. The prior effort in that last effort, and the horse's prior effort was even more impressive with a good amount of trouble. The horse's numbers are steadily improving, and if this horse could get out in decent fashion, could post a little minor upset of the morning line favorite. Deservedly so, One Sweet Bar to the outside.
And if I remember correctly, you liked this horse back on October 16th. And
Yep.
he ran a much improved effort to get up by a head. This is his latest race. November 26th, he went off favorite, Chris. He was in gate number 6. What'd you see this night?
As per usual, got a little fractious in the gate, kind of bobbled and was a bump both sides away from the barrier, losing some ground, bumped both sides, and threw his head up in the air, then kind of skied out, and it's slow in his stride here. It's under a little bit of pressure midway, but this horse finished pretty well the final half of the affair and was a nice sized individual and was starting out very strongly and very well could have won that race. It was kind of drifted in, forced in right in the wire, but galloped out very, very well. And with everything factored in, trouble track numbers, this horse's number is very, very close to One Sweet Bar. So I'm going to go with the better price, drawn well, and give him a look on the weekend preview show, my price play on the racing card.
I like that. And you're drawn right outside the big favorite. So if you can get the jump on that favorite, you might be able to kind of keep up or outfinish that one. So Fire Pit, we saw that that's a significant improvement, right? From the second outing to the third outing, and he kind of carried into the allowance form. So he looks like a new horse now.
Yeah, horse is steadily improving there for Valentin and company. And I think this horse got a big look at the outcome. This horse can get away just a little bit better. And right there with the numbers, Adolfo Diaz is one sweep bar. The numbers are very, very close, something along the lines of 1545, 1550 on my numbers. And has a look at the outcome there at price there in that 8th event.
How would you rank this race? I know Fire Pit is your top pick. One sweep bar for second.
Yeah, then I go with the 3J's Fortune. This horse lost all chance 48 nights ago and bumped back and crossed. But the horse's prior effort when getting that maiden broken was pretty impressive with some trouble along the way, skied a little bit. We finished very strongly, galloped out very, very nicely. And that figure is actually third best in our charts and has a look at the outcome as well with a clean getaway.
Yeah, that's actually my top pick. I like 3 Years Fortune. Back to that back to that maiden diploma. He looked sharp in that race. You can draw a line through the last race. He didn't get to fire after getting troubled. So he's my top pick. He's bred to be a very good horse by Apolitical Jess. Out of this Boogie Fires, this puts him in the family of that champion J Fire Up, if I remember correctly. So this 3 Years Fortune to me is a decent price there. So we both like prices. You like the 5 at 4-1. I like the 2 at 5-1. This could be a good way to kind of create some separation in the pick 6. All right, Chris. I know when you walk into the paddock to give your analysis of race number 9, you're going to be holding a ticket in your pocket that is going to be alive for thousands of dollars in the pick 6. Who are you going to need to close out here the pick 6 in race number 9?
Well, on my figures, it's basically a 2-horse affair. We're looking at Navaja to the outside. It'll be our top choice there for Felix Gonzalez. This horse broke in last time and bumped, brushed and skied a little bit, and lost about 3/4. Still showed some decent speed. Still ran very well. Without run glides in the wire in that futurity trial, but with everything factored in, drawn nicely outside, this horse got a big look at the outcome as a probable favorite in the finale as our top choice. I'm going to give a look to Feldspar down the inside. This horse ran a very good second in that last effort there for Jose Flores, and pretty solid performance. This horse bobbled and skied a little bit, showed a big runway way, and was finishing very strongly, earned a pretty good figure. And so with expected improvement here, the horse has been moving steadily forward on the shipping from Rio Doso down as they normally do. I give this horse a look at the outcome. So in the last race, if we're live in the pick 6 and with the pick 4, I've been paying very, very good as of late. I'm going to give Navajo the slight edge, drawn to the outside, and then, of course, the inside Feldspar there for Jose Flores as our second choice.
Mr. Johnny Trotter and Jose Flores are off to a good start this meet here at Los Al. Feldspar out of that very good racer Nelly Delaney. She's starting to show her form and her pedigree with 2 wins out of the last 3 starts. Forever Dynasty, I think, deserves a little bit of a look for Sergio Morfin, now taking over for the recently retired John Cooper. He was a longtime assistant for John Cooper. So Sergio Morfin knows Forever Dynasty fairly well. It's been a good, consistent filly. So she deserves a look at 2-1. But it just feels like it's Navaja's race to lose, right? I mean, if you had this filly last time out at 39-1, you want to rip your hair out because you got her at nearly 40-1 and you missed by a neck. I mean, she ran lights out to only miss by a neck in a very, very good effort.
Yeah, that was very impressive performance at a huge price. She skied a little bit and was outrun right near the wire and has a big look there as their deserving favorite in the finale there. Feldspar on the inside, got to look at the outcome. And my third number, I'm going to take a little flyer with Take Flight. The horse that just broke the maiden in that last effort, did it rather impressively. And I mean, that allowance of it, and that after breaking the maiden 2 back, the horse is steadily moving forward on my charts. And don't forget, this horse was a little washed out last time. Has a tendency to do that, but the barn's going great guns, and this horse could pose a little threat on these exotics at the very least. There, Take Flight steadily improving there for Salvador Naranjo.
And if you just look at the replay and look at the time and visually and the time, they both fit well, right, against this group. It's more about how strong of a field does she beat. But if you just look at her visually and what she did, she looks like she's definitely improving. She's obviously going to get tested here for a much tougher class, but without a doubt, she's on the improve. And I think she proved it with that 15:63 time. Yeah,
very impressive number on my charts. And had a little trouble early and big run midway and finished steadily. Very impressive number. And could pose a little minor upset in the finale.
I like it. All right, that's a look at the pick six sequence with Chris and Michael. Chris, hopefully we catch a few little prices. We're gonna go. I think that key race for us is probably gonna be that race number 8, where we're kind of leaning towards trying to beat One Sweet Bar. You like Fire Pit, I like Three Just Fortune. If we can beat that even money favorite on the outside, I think that could open it up for a little bit of a separation there in the pick six.
Yeah, it's going to be a monstrous pool, and you got some two thoroughbred races starting things off, and we're getting some long shots in the thoroughbreds recently. So don't go too short because we got some wide open races closing it out, but it's going to be a huge pool, and any kind of prices pays very well at Los Alamitos.
Yeah, any kind of price. It doesn't have to be a major, gigantic, double-digit odd winner. If you beat one or two favorites along the way with the second, third, or fourth choices, you're in the mix for a very nice, healthy payout. Chris, thanks for joining us, and best of luck this weekend at Los Alamitos. I'll see you out there for the Pick Six carryover on Saturday night.
Yeah, we'll see you out there, boss. It'll be a lot of fun and great second week of the season.
It will be. All right, Chris, have a good night.
You too, boss.
The best of quarter horse racing continues at Los Alamitos Racecourse every Saturday and Sunday night. Buckle up for another top racing weekend at Los Alamitos. On Saturday, the Pick Six will feature a carryover of more than $56,000. And with the new money to be wagered on Saturday, it'll be an enticing pool in Saturday's Pick Six. And remember, Los Alamitos offers a traditional Pick Six. It's a huge Saturday night of action with a Pick Six carryover of more than $56,000. The best of racing, the best of quarter horse racing, always at Los Alamitos. The Los Alamitos Pick Fours are known as night racing's best bets, with huge pools, a $1 minimum, and big payouts. It gives horse players more bang for the buck. Our racing programs begin shortly after the major daytime thoroughbred racing action, and the Los Alamitos Early Pick Four always starts with our first race on the card. Big pools, great fun. It's the Los Alamitos Pick Four.
Golden Boy gathering them in. Photo. Golden Boy gets up to score.
Night racing's best bets, always at Los Alamitos.
Before we wrap up the show here for this week, I want to take it back and recap last week's stakes events, and specifically on Sunday night. First up, we'll take a look at the replay of the Nationally, which was won by Coalition, who's racing in very sharp form there for Heath Taylor. After the race, Professor G caught up with Heath to talk more about that performance. Listen and enjoy here to the Nationally, won by Coalition.
Set. Racing. In My Heart, fast into stride with Coalition and Susie DeCarpi. Lady Moon on the inside. It's Coalition out wide, battling with Lady Moon. Coalition from Lady Moon, and In My Heart, Coalition's the leader. And Coalition wins the Dashingly. Lady Moon's second, just in front of In My Heart, followed by Susie DeCarpi.
Skipped in and ran a super race, really fast race at Lone Star the last time we ran her, and she'd always shown a lot of talent, a lot of promise, just had a lot of bad luck in the finals. And Bobby Cox and I and Bill Melson talked about that she had run really fast, like 106, and she had made some money, really well bred. She's out of Nellie Delaney. So we needed some black type though. We needed some stakes on her record, and spoke to them a little bit. And I think Los Alamitos is obviously second to none. They made such a commitment to the mare program. And so the 100-yard race, I think, to answer your question, I think it sharpened her up a little bit. She had never had an out here, and before we jumped in the stakes, I thought maybe we should run her once at least to see. She handled that really well, but that was almost served as her official work to start on the Philly mare campaign. She'd always showed good talent. She was a little immature, and I think she's just not coming to herself. She's won 3 in a row now. But the whole goal was to get here, find a stakes race, hopefully run in the top 3. So winning it, and mare named after a great legend like Dash Ingley, and friends of mine had campaigned Dash Ingley. I guess that's showing my age. So it was really good. So she got a stakes win, and so we're very pleased.
Next up on Sunday night to close out the weekend of racing, it was Famous Shining Star for Mr. Johnny Trotter, and Jose Flores is off to a great start, taking down the Grade 1 Charger Bar at an upset, which was part of that sequence that was caused the Pick Six carryover. So congrats to the connections there of Famous Shining Star winning the Grade 1 Charger Bar. Here's the replay, and then Professor G caught up with Jose Flores.
Set. Racing. Nymphette begins quite well, drifting a couple of paths wide. Early speed coming from Famous Shining Star. It's Famous Shining Star leading past the gap from Sweet Tess, Sweet Dash of Fire, College Scandal, Nymphette.
It's famous Shining Star in the Charger Bar. Second, three-way photo among Sweet Dash of Fire, College Scandal and Sweet Tess, then Nymphette.
Congratulations, Jose. You just won the first Grade 1 race of 2023 here with famous Shining Star. She's done so well here at Los Alamitos, won the Virginia Highland last year, and she's been in so many big races here at Los Alamitos. Tell me about this mare and about winning this race.
You know, she just she's been hard trying every time. You know, she's gone out there and done her job every time, and you know, she just fell a little short in some of the big races. Of course, it's very hard right here against all these great mares out here, but now it was you know, it was her turn today. You know,
there's so many different races that you can point this mare to. What's the plan?
Well, we're gonna go through a schedule and see what we have to do, you know, and then go from there. You know, I remember when we first ran her the first time. I told her I absolutely love this mare. When I ran her the very first time I ran her, she won very easily, and I told him, you know what, this mare has tons of talent, you know, and he says okay, and you know, ever since that's been history. You know, she's run a bad one and a good one, you know, but today was a good one, so it was a good thing for her.
Erasmo Gasca picking up his first Grade 1.
Yes, I'm very proud with him because I've been a little bit, and I joke around with him, you know. I mean, he's a hard-working kid, you know. Him and Cruz and Rangel and Irvin Lara, you know, they've been part of my team. You know, all four of those boys have really worked hard in my barn always. And I always tell Gasca, I said, I mean, you're the only one that hasn't won a Grade 1, you know. And now he got it done, you know, and I'm very happy for him because he works hard and he deserves all the best, you know.
Absolutely. Congratulations. And
Thank
he gets
you.
to do it with one of your horses, so
yes,
that's even better.
it was even better.
Once again, congratulations to the connections there of the big stakes wins last weekend here at Los Alamitos. And part of that big stakes weekend was that Grade 1 Charger Bar with that upset with famous Shining Star, which led to a pick 6 carryover for this Saturday night here at Los Alamitos. So again, thank you to Mike Wrona, Christopher Wade, Professor G for getting us those interviews, and all the horse players that watch us here on this webcast there via losalamitos.com and youtube.com. And again, thanks to all the horse players for the support for wagering at the Los Alamitos signal each and every week. And best of luck to everybody getting involved with the $2 pick 6 here this upcoming weekend. We'll see you at the races. I'll be back on the FanDuel TV set this upcoming Saturday, getting ready to cover all the races and hopefully bring you a few winners along the way for that pick 6. All right, with that does it for me tonight. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next week.
The best of quarter horse racing continues at Los Alamitos Racecourse every Saturday and Sunday night. Buckle up for another top racing weekend at Los Alamitos. On Saturday, the Pick 6 will feature a carryover of more than $56,000. And with the new money to be wagered on Saturday, it'll be an enticing pool in Saturday's Pick 6. And remember, Los Alamitos offers a traditional Pick 6. It's a huge Saturday night of action with a Pick 6 carryover of more than $56,000. The best of racing, the best of quarter horse racing, always at Los Alamitos. The Los Alamitos Pick 4s are known as night racing's best bets, with huge pools, a $1 minimum, and big payouts. It gives horse players more bang for the buck. Our racing programs begin shortly after the major daytime thoroughbred racing action, and the Los Alamitos Early Pick 4 always starts with our first race on the card. Big pools, great fun. It's the Los Alamitos Pick 4.
Golden Boy gathering them in. Boat tail. Golden Boy gets up to score.
Night racing's best bets, always at Los Alamitos.